just rearranged the shop, and we need to redo the lighting because of that.
Yes.
So today, we're going to make some light boxes to brighten up the space.
Yes, and we're going to be able to do this custom for exactly what we need by making this ourselves.
A lot cheaper than buying something off the shelf.
I think so.
Let's go.
We're starting out with 3 8-foot sections of 1x2s. We're measuring these and cutting these down to the size we're going to need for our space. This is going to be different depending on the size you want to make, but here is how we cut it all. And then we're going to lay it all out like so. We want this to mimic the look of a window. So you can add more like sections or less sections, but this is just what we did. Next, Michael's measuring the center point on the longest sections and marking this so that we can line up our pieces perfectly. And each spot is getting 2 nails so that it won't pivot. And once everything's securely in its place, we're adding 2 screws to each side as well. So we're starting with the pilot hole and then screwing in each screw.
Now it's nice and solid, and it's time to add some reflective material.
This is Mylar, which is nice and reflective, and these are actually emergency blankets because we found it to be the most economical way to purchase big sheets of it. And we're going to staple this onto the frame that we just made. And we want to be really careful with the settings on our stapler, that the staple is going right to the surface. Otherwise, it's going to pop right through the Mylar and it won't actually secure anything because the Mylar is really thin. And then once we have that completely secure, we can trim off the extra Mylar using a utility knife. And we just basically made a really large mirror. We're gonna flip this over now, and we're being really careful that we didn't leave behind any loose staples or nails on the surface because the Mylars are really thin and we don't wanna poke any holes in it. And this is gonna give us access to that wooden frame again.
All right, so the next step is going to be to add the physical lights to the inside of the box.
We're drilling a hole for the plug on the side of the light box. This is going to make sure that when it's hanging on the wall, it can hang perfectly flush. There won't be like a cord between the light box and the wall. These strip lights have an adhesive strip on the back that are securing it perfectly securely to the wood. So Michael's going around and lining the inside of the frame with these LEDs. And we just dimmed them up and down and double checked that everything was lighting evenly before moving on to the next steps.
Good.
We're covering the top of this with light diffusing fabric and wrapping the corners just like you'd wrap a present. And then we stapled this in just like we've been doing throughout this build. The result is nice diffused lighting that's going to make for really nice video quality and photo lighting in our shop. And also, it kind of just looks like a window if you're not looking too closely at it. So it'll just be daylight at all times, which is a lot easier for filming content and doing photography and making sure that everything seamlessly blends together, regardless of what time of day we're actually filming.
Because I'm going to put brackets on. So we're going to want it like this.
We're mounting this at window height with brackets, and we're going to be making a whole bunch of these to put throughout the shop, and we're actually going to cover all the windows with these so that it'll be, like I said, consistent lighting no matter what day we're filming and no matter what the weather is. Here is the finished effect. It's going to be a diffused front lighting, almost like a ring light, but for the wall.
Lighting before.
Lighting after.
I think it speaks for itself. Because I look amazing.
I think you look better than
Really
me.
releases my inner glow.
It really does. We're going to be adding a whole bunch of these throughout the shop. This is just the first one, and you can use the same process to make really affordable custom lighting to make you look like an angel in your photos and videos in any space.